Okay, now we will pay homage to the Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Today we have to talk about previous chapter. Last night we have already explained Samatha-Vipassanā Bhubankama. So whenever we are going to practice Vipassana Bhubankama, that means whenever we are going to practice Vipassana, we must start with at least a sequence with 4 elements in brief or in detail. So that means when we are going to talk about Vipassana Bhubankama, here last night I mentioned this one, right? So in Samatha-Vipassanā Sutta, the word I mentioned 4 elements, but that in brief. That means it's not too in detail, just briefly. For example, a butcher, he may kill a cow, cut into pieces. Before killing or before cutting into pieces is a cow. After cutting into the pieces, it becomes beef. Similarly, before we are going to discern this body as 4 elements, this can be the body, our body or something. After discerning 4 elements, we will see as 4 elements. We will not see as a body or anything. So sometimes some meditator, they also have read many suttas from many different traditions. They also ask, what about emptiness? Because sunyata, right? Emptiness. Actually, we have many different levels of emptiness in Buddha's teaching. After discerning 4 elements, if we just see 4 elements all over the body, we didn't know anything about I or you or anybody. In this kind of case, we can also say emptiness. So now, when we are going to explain the 4 elements, we just have to know the characteristics of 4 elements. As we have already learned in many different parts of Buddha's teaching, 4 elements is a earth element, water element, fire element, and wind element. It can be all over in our body. Everywhere in our body, we can find these 4 elements. Then, when we are going to discern, it must be systematic. But one more thing, actually, when you are going to practice 4 elements, you should have teacher nearby. If some elements become very excessive, there will be some problem. Okay, now I will introduce 4 elements, group by group. The first one is earth element. In the earth element, we have 6 characteristics: hardness, roughness, heaviness, softness, and smoothness. For example, hardness, or if we touch our teeth, we can also feel hardness. Not only that, if we touch our fingernails, we can also feel hardness. So there are hardness in all over the body, but we have a different degree of hardness in different body parts. For example, hardness in the bone, hardness in the flesh will be different. But anyway, there's a hardness. We must know the hardness naturally in all over the body. Then again, roughness. If we rough our inner teeth with our tongue, then we may feel roughness. It can be all over the body. We can feel roughness all over the body. There will be different degree of roughness. We must know it naturally. We must experience it naturally. Again, heaviness. If we press our knees with our palms, if we just overview from our shoulder, we can feel heaviness. Slightly press, we can feel heaviness. So if we can see heaviness all over the body, we can also discern hardness, roughness, heaviness again and again. Then we also have softness. For example, if we press our inner lip with our tongue, we can also feel softness. And we can also feel softness all over the body. There will be different degree of softness. Again, we also have smoothness. If we wrap our inner lip with our tongue, then we can also feel smoothness. It can be all over the body. Then lightness. If we lift our finger again and again like this, we can also feel lightness. So the main thing is we must see all these characteristics naturally. If we're trying to create something, if we force to be very hard or very gross or very heavy, there will be excessive elements. It will cause some discomfort in the body. For about softness group, it doesn't matter. Softness, smoothness, lightness, these are very comfortable elements, comfortable characteristics in the other elements. Again, when we have to discern water element, we have two different characteristics of water element. There's a flowing. So we can also say flowing means separate all over the body. Another thing is cohesion. We can also understand as a solidity. So if we are going to make rice pounder ball, then we have to have big amount of powder. We have to spike it with the water. We can make a ball. The water will leak into every single particles, every single pounders. Then it spread. That's why there's a solidity, flowing and cohesion. So similarly, in this body, because of flowing, it will spread all over the body. Also, there's a solidity. That's what we can see as a body. If there's no solidity, this body will be pounders, piece of particles. So we have to see flowing and cohesion in this body naturally. Again, water element, heat and cold. Sorry, fire element, heat and cold. If we grasp our hands, mostly one of hand is warm, one of the hand is cold. We can discern warmness from the arms, and we can also discern all over the body. There will be warmness. Similarly, coolness. We can discern coolness from our arms, and we can also discern all over the body, part by part. So briefly, heat and cold are fire elements. Then again, one element. This is a supporting and pushing. If we keep our head and body straight, our backbones are supporting each other, or the joints are supporting each other. We can know supporting all over the body. Then similarly pushing. When we breathe in, our body will be a little bit bigger because of pushing of the air. So anyway, the main thing is supporting and pushing. These two are one element. So we have to discern all these elements systematically. Up to which level should we practice? It should be up to asset concentration. Last night, I have already introduced many subjects can lead to jhana. Also, there are some subjects that cannot lead to the jhana. So neighborhood, we can also say neighborhood concentration. If there's a jhana, then there will be neighborhood of jhana. If there's no jhana, we cannot say it's a neighborhood also, but something similar to neighborhood, because this has the same quality, right? The same degree of concentration. That's why we can say the neighborhood concentration or asset concentration as a similarity. So that one is designing 4 elements. So when we design 4 elements, we can attain up to asset concentration. As you see the lines in Anapanasati, you can also see the lines when you design 4 elements. But when seeing the nimitta, it will be a little bit different from one subject to another subject. The main thing is, at least we must practice 4 elements in brief until we can attain asset concentration. So 4 elements also a part of Rupa meditation. 4 elements also the foundations of Vipassana. Then based on that, we also have to proceed Vipassana, Rupa meditation. So when we are going to talk about Samatha pure Vipassana vehicle, then there will be many different angles. For example, although we practice Anapanasati, we cannot attain jhana. For example, right? Then we just attain asset concentration. Then can we practice Vipassana? We must say yes, it's possible. Since we don't have very strong concentration, or we don't have jhana, we don't have many choices. We don't have many choices. We have only one way. Just some rupa, after that go back to nama. We have to continue nama rupa. Okay, now we have to proceed for pure Vipassana vehicle. That's for Anapanasati, right? Yeah, I just mentioned very simple introductions of Anapanasati. So if you cannot attain jhana, then how should we practice? That means after attaining asset concentration, we have to discern rupa. The in and out breath arises depending on the base. Then what's the base? The base is the produced body, karaja kaya. That comprises of the 4 primary elements and derived materialities. Okay, for example, nose hole. Nose hole also called produced body. That means it's produced by kama, chitta, udu, ahara, something like that. It also comprises of 4 primary elements. I have already mentioned earth element, water element, fire element, and wind element. Also, derived materialities. What does it mean, derived materialities? For example, we may have color, smell, taste, flavor, or nutritive essence. All these are derived materialities. Not only that, we also have eye translucency, ear translucency, nose translucency, tongue translucency, body translucency, heart materiality. All these are also called derived materialities. So briefly, we must discern all types of materialities in detail. Now, this is the discerning materiality. These materiality are the object of contact, feeling. So going to be phassa, right? Feeling, vedana, perception, sanya, volition, cetana, and consciousness. That means citta or vijnana. We have 5 things: phassa, vedana, sanya, cetana, vijnana. 5, which are called phassa panchamaka. So that means if we count reverse order from vijnana to phassa, right? That's why there's a 5. That's why we just say phassa panchamaka. This is a discerning mentality. So that means we just know the breathing and breathing out. At the time, there's a contact. Without contact, also we cannot know. There's a feeling, good and bad, happy or unhappy. This is called feeling. Perception. Perception means we mark, or we're trying to remember it by marking, by perceiving, or sanya. Volition. Volition means actually we just say it's a reinforcing or encouragement to know it. Consciousness we call vijnana. Vijnana is just knowing the object. So if we say another way, we have mental aggregates. For example, feeling is feeling aggregates. Perception is perception aggregates. Then we have vijnana, consciousness. Consciousness aggregates. And pasana and jirana, we can say formation aggregates. Although we just say only the 5 mental patterns or 5 mentalities, actually, there are many other mentalities that will arise together with all these 5. So today I just have to introduce very simple terms. If I say very messy, then it will be very hectic for you, right? Then again, discerning their causes, the dependent origination, he can overcome the doubts about the present, past, future existences. Understanding no man, no being, no person. There are only causes arising of mentalities and materialities. So as we have mentioned in 4 elements, we don't see as a body, we just see 4 elements. Similarly, after discerning cause-effect relationship, we just know everything is a cause-effect relationship. We don't see as a body or human being or anything. Then contemplating mentality and materiality together with their causes as impermanent, then anicca, suffering, dukkha, and non-self anatta. Developing insights, you can gradually attain arhatship. Let me see. Samatha-Vipassanā Sutta, commentary, page 355. I just translate from Samatha-Vipassanā Sutta commentary. So briefly, for pure Vipassana vehicle, we have to start with 4 elements, or we have to start with any other subject, right? But in detail, in brief. Although we don't attain jhana, it's possible for pure Vipassana vehicle. Okay, now again, another thing. This practice is for neya. We have already talked about neya before, right? Neya means they don't have very strong knowledge. Also, they don't have very strong thinking or speculation. This is called neya, right? Okay, now when we talk about dukkha paripara danda vinya, we also have already talked about it before. When we say sukha paripara kripa vinya, it can be ukkati tanyu. Those who can attain path and fruition knowledge after listening short discourses. Then if somebody can attain very slowly, but they can practice very smoothly in the very beginning, we call dukkha paripara kripa vinya or sukha paripara danda vinya, 2 different types of people, right? They are called vipanchitanyu. After listening long discourses, they can attain path and fruition knowledge. Now, for about neya, they are dukkha paripara danda vinya. Dukkha paripara danda vinya means they have very many difficulty to achieve or to asset concentration. After attaining asset concentration also, they encounter many difficulty to attain jhana or to attain path and fruition knowledge. So that means this is called dukkha paripara danda vinya. Then what's the causes of dukkha paripara danda vinya? Here I list out. Dukkha paripara means what caused dukkha paripara? 1, 10 impediments. So later I have to explain major impediments. Now I will say only minor impediments. For example, you have some issue to do in your house. Because when you don't lock your door, for example, when you're meditating, you may remember, oh, I haven't locked my house door or maybe entrance door, then you cannot meditate well. This is minor impediment, right? Similarly, you have very long nails, fingernails, for example. When you touch your hand, then it will pain. You may remember, oh, I have to cut my nails, for example. Right? Even minor things, it can be impediment. Right? Similarly, you have to do something in your house, right? But you don't store up your clothes properly, or you haven't cleaned your room properly. You may remember all the things. These are only minor things, but it also can be this obstacle when you're meditating. So later I have to introduce 10 impediments. Now I just say minor impediments. Later, actually here 10 impediments mean major impediments. Then lustful temperament. Okay, now what is lustful temperament? That means we are very easy to have attachment to something or somebody. So when we visited somewhere, the women see something, oh, it's very nice. It looks very good, for example, right? Then sometimes when we go to some shopping mall, right? Then I have never been to shopping mall, right? I have been to only some places in Singapore, only bookshop, right? Anyway, when you go to the shopping mall, then you may see many new brands or many high technology, and you used to get that one very easily, right? This is called lustful temperament. Another thing is like living things. Or when you see the cat, also, oh, this is very beautiful, very nice. When you see a dog, also, oh, this is very nice, right? So what about living things or non-living things? It's very easy to attach. We can have very easy attachment. This kind of person can be considered as lustful temperament. Then they cannot improve easily. So a lot of attachment. Right? Another thing is not practicing samatha. Be careful. Right? Why we become dukkha parivara? Why we encounter many difficulty? That means we have never practiced samatha before. Now may have it, may new habits, right? Then after that, actually 4, 5, 6 will be the same as next group, right? 7 unsuitable conditions. So here I should introduce a little bit more about 7 unsuitable conditions. For example, living place. If it's too hot, then we cannot meditate well. If too cold also, we cannot meditate well. Right? Then in modern society, the weather is okay, not really big problem. We have air condition, air cooler. But the problem is a little bit noisy. Right? Everywhere is noisy. Although they say, I mean, some aircon is not noisy, right? They may say, but when we meditate, it's noisy. Anyway, the main thing is, if too cold or too hot, this unsuitable weather, then we cannot meditate very well. So the main thing is that our ability must be suitable enough. That means when it's very cold, then it must be warm. When it's very hot, it must be cool. It must be cooling, right? We must have proper living place. This is also important. If we have improper living place or unsuitable living place, we cannot improve. Another one is Gojara. Gojara, for bhikkhus, actually, we just say the village where we go for Bindapata. It must not be very far. It must not be not very near also. It must not be very noisy. We can say environment, right? Our environment must be quiet. In the case of Gojara, there are also many other explanations. That means there are many unsuitable things we must not do. For example, don't associate with people too much, and that kind of things, right? Anyway, the main thing is unsuitable condition is one of them is the environment. Then again, compensation. We also need proper compensation. Sometimes we see somebody, they have a lot of negativity. They just speak negative. Then it will be very effective for our practice. Right? It will affect our practice. I must have experienced many times. So sometimes I have to see some of my senior when they need my help. I just go and see them. Then they just talk about their difficulty. Only maybe less than 3 minutes or 5 minutes. Although less than 5 minutes. Now when I come back and meditate in my room or in my kuti, I cannot meditate well because compensation. Right? But sometimes you may hear many complaints from many different people. Meditation, why you are wasting your time? Right? Then just sitting, doing nothing. Why you waste your time, for example? They may take on compensation. That you have to answer, but they cannot accept your explanation. Just start your mind to meditate. Right? That means compensation. If somebody talk about some negative things to you, don't listen too much. Don't keep in your mind. Another thing is like a friend or somebody in our community. That means there must be somebody who can support our meditation. If we don't have proper supporting, we cannot meditate well also. For example, when we encounter difficulty, there must be somebody who can solve the problem. Then similarly, if we cannot meditate well, there must be somebody who can help us. So whenever we have difficulty, now we need somebody, we can get some idea from somebody. So if we don't have proper persons or proper instructor or proper guidance, somebody who can guide us, then there's also unsuitable condition. Now there's the foods. In Singapore, you don't have to worry about the food, right? Because you can get food easily. So another thing is, like, if we talk about the food, that means the main thing is the nutriment. It must be nutritious. It must be able to sustain our body. This is more important. If we don't have suitable foods, if we don't have proper eating, right? Suitable foods, then we will get sick, we cannot meditate well. We also need suitable foods according to our body condition. Then another thing is the weather. In Singapore, weather is very stable, right? Rain and hot. You don't have many different weather. In Myanmar, we have many different weather. It will rain, very heavy rain, every day raining. Especially in Molamien. I think many people have been to Molamien here, right? Some of them have been to Molamien. Then it raining, every day raining. It was hot, every day hot. No rain. It will cold every day. Fine, we have to adjust weather. But the main thing is if we have suitable weather, then it will be easy for us to improve. Otherwise, it will be very slow improvement. Then again, idiapata means posture, suitable sitting posture, or standing or walking or lying down posture. Here, I don't recommend lying down posture, right? It's too relaxed. So when you lie down too relaxed, you may feel lazy and you may fall asleep. That's why we just recommend 3 postures: standing, sitting, or lying down. Walking. So standing, walking, or sitting. The 3 postures. Okay, another thing, having very weak controlling faculties. That means here as a fit, etc. Right? I mentioned the fit, etc. means, even yesterday I have already explained, saddha and panya. If we cannot balance these two, we cannot improve. Similarly, concentration and efforts. If we cannot balance these two, we cannot improve. So we must be able to balance these controlling faculties. If controlling faculties are very weak, for example, saddha, we don't believe easily. Sometimes it's good. When we are meditating, this is really very bad. Okay, one more thing, right? So now I'm in Singapore. I should talk about one Singaporean lady. She has been to Pao. Maybe tomorrow she will come and see me, maybe. Right? So she has been to Pao. She is a non-Buddhist. Her son is a Buddhist. Her son was to ordain in Pao, so she also follow her son. Maybe she loved her son too much, maybe. She follow. She was meditating there. She could see the lights earlier than her son. No, her question is a little bit strange to me. Andy, how is it possible to see the lights when you focus on the breathing? Then she said, she asked this kind of question. Okay, if you practice, you can see. One day she herself can see the light. Then when she sees the light, then can you believe that you can see the light by focusing on the breath? I cannot believe. That's why I'm asking you. Even she has have seen the light, she still cannot believe. Then I'm gonna answer anything, right? So that means sometimes we have right? We have brava, right? Seeing as a believer. Although we see, if we're gonna believe, then we're gonna say anything. So the main thing is saddha. If we don't believe our ability, if we don't believe our experiences, then we cannot improve. I have experienced many people, especially meditator. For example, one bhikkhu, the first day he reported, then he has seen the light. I have asked many questions. Where do you see? How do you see? I asked many questions. That he could answer all the questions without any delay, any hesitation. Then the next day, he came back and reported, Sarah, I think it's some misunderstanding. I cannot see the light. Today, I'm trying to see the light, but I cannot see anymore. Right? He's that kind of report. I just say, no, don't expect. If you expect, it will not come to you anymore. Right? For example, it's like running after our shadow. Just keep your shadow in front of you. Run after it. The faster you run, the faster your shadow run also. You're going to catch it. So keep your shadow behind. Run. The shadow will follow you. Similarly, we have to do what we need to do. Don't expect too much. If we expect, we're going to achieve anything. In his case, he cannot believe he has seen the light yesterday. Right? Previous day. But next day, he had a lot of doubt about it. That means if we analyze too much or expect too much, our faith also can decline. So we should have a strong faith in our experience and our practice. Not only that, there are many other things I have already explained yesterday, right? Saddha and Panya, Saddha and Virya and Samadhi. If we have all the controlling faculties very strong, it's possible to achieve faster. If all the controlling faculties are very weak, it will be slower. Then again, having very strong defilements. Okay, here I actually introduce the meaning of defilements. Defilements means it makes our mind impure. It also makes our mind heaty. This is called defilements. So naturally, our mind will be very pure. But when we have some greed or hatred or worry, the mind is impure, not very comfortable. That's called defilements. If we have very strong defilements, we cannot achieve. Not only that, actually, if we have very strong defilements, we can also get lost or our achievement also. So these 6 are the reason of dukkha pratippada. Why we encounter difficulty? So we encounter difficulty because of these 6 causes. Again, danda benya. Why we have very slow attainment? sluggish attainment. Again here, 10 skill in jhana. So it will be too long, right? Today I cannot talk about 10 skills. We don't have enough time for today, right? Maybe tomorrow, it will be tomorrow. So that means when we are practicing, before attaining jhana also, we need skill. After attaining jhana also, we need skill to maintain, to improve. That's when there are 10 different types of skills. Then again, we have diluted temperament. So if somebody has diluted temperament, it will be very slow attainment. What does that mean, diluted temperament? That means our minds are not very clear, always confusion. We always have doubts. All the time we have agitation, restlessness. That means we have diluted temperament. So that means when we say delusion, all they are not very clear to our mind, then so we cannot improve easily. Rather than not practicing vipassana. This one is also important. If we have never practiced vipassana before, it will be slow attainment. So remaining three will be same as before: 7 unsuitable conditions, having very weak controlling faculties, having very strong defilements. These 6 are the cause of Dandabhinya. So that means for Neya Bugala, we may have all these conditions, right? But if we summarize, there are 9 conditions, right? 10 impediments, lustful temperaments, no practice in samatha. This is one group. Otherwise, 10 unskills in jhana, diluted temperament, not practicing vipassana. There's another group. Then there's the same thing, right? 7 unsuitable conditions, having weak controlling faculties, having very strong defilements. Altogether, 9 conditions. These 9 conditions will make us to improve slowly and to attain slowly. So, Vipassana Behiko must practice Vipassana Bhupankama. Right? So another thing is also for Neya. That's one here I list out. Then again, today I also have to introduce 10 impediments in detail. Also, maybe tomorrow I have to continue 10 unskill in jhana. It will be a little bit long. Okay, now 10 impediments. Today we will start. So here we have 10 major impediments. The first one is avasa, the dwelling, the living place. So our living place is also one of the problem. For example, okay, I will say very simple thing, right? If your house is totally new, you will be very busy. You need this furniture, that furniture, this instrument, that instrument, right? You'll be busy for your new house. If you live in a very old house also, leaking, spoiling this one, you have to repair, renovate. You will be very busy. It becomes impediment. So another thing is if you have new construction, of course, this is a very heavy job, right? Then you have to be very busy. So the main thing is the living place can be impediment. Sometimes in our living place is very crowded. Many people come, many visitors come. Then this is also impediment. Then not only that, there are many other conditions. For example, in Singapore, you don't have many farming, right? In other countries, they have farming. So our monastery is very close to a farm, for example, farming, vegetable farm. Many people come and collect vegetable. Then they will make noise. They may sing the songs. It's unsuitable for meditator. Many flowery trees in the forest. Many people like flower, right? They will come and try to collect flower, then also make noise. Similarly, many fruits are tree. There are many trees that bear fruits. They will come and collect the fruits. It make noise. Right? So that means avasa, living place. So there are many obstacles produced from living place. If our living place is very crowded, very busy, we cannot meditate. Another thing is the kula, family or devotee. Here I just say two different things, family and devotees, right? That means we all have family. Sometimes one of our family members is sick, for example. We have to take care of him or her. Then we are busy, we cannot meditate. This kind of impediment comes from family. Another thing, devotees, is for bhikkhu. Right? That means in Sangha, I'm a little okay because not many visitors to come to see me. It's okay. Right? But sometimes in Myanmar, I'm not free because many people come and they ask many questions and I have to do many different things. I'm not that free because of devotees. Right? So not only that, actually, when we talk about devotees, then some of them are just coming to see. Actually, they don't have any particular reason. Right? That's why I talk to many people, including Singaporean also, right? Then mostly, good donors are not good practitioners, not good meditator, right? In Singapore, we have many donors from Singapore. They are good donors, but not good practitioners. Similarly, we have many donors from Malaysia. They are good donors, but not good practitioners. Similarly, we have many donors in Indonesia, Vietnam, from Thailand. They are good donors, not good practitioners, devotees. But actually, if they have the chance to listen Dhamma talk, it's good enough for them. That aspirational talk, right? Not for practice. Anyway, that means devotees for bhikkhus, devotee and bhikkhus. We also have some difficulty. Okay, the main thing is, if we are busy for families and busy for devotees, we cannot meditate. This is also called impediment. This is major impediment. Another thing is lava, gain. Actually, for layperson, you may have your own business. You have to earn for your life, your living. Then, if you don't have any, you're going to survive also, right? But sometimes you may have a better income. You don't need to work, right? It will be okay. No, you don't have to be busy. Anyway, the main thing is gain. If we have to earn, then we have to work very hard. Then we don't have enough time to meditate. It becomes impediment. That's for layperson. For bhikkhu, we also have similar problem. In the case of gain means, for example, I'm invited to many different family for Dhamma talk, right? Then they may offer requisites, they may offer properties. Then these are called gain. So that means, in one cases, there are two bhikkhus in one monastery. One bhikkhu two of them come only one night in that monastery. But the next day, when the two of them are going to leave, one bhikkhu has only bow and a rope as he came from his monastery. The second one, he has a lot of property. Right? That means if we have a lot of property, it's very difficult to move one place to another. Right? For example, okay, now I have many property in Myanmar, in my kuti, right? Then if I have to move another kuti or another monastery, very difficult because many property already in one place. So in the case of gain, for bhikkhu, many people may invite for donations. They will offer this, they will offer that. They could also follow their wish. Just go to many different ceremony. And now we can say many ceremony, many activities. So all the activities are for earning, right? So, okay, for example, Katina ceremony, only once a year, right? Then also, actually, we can earn a lot. Then this is only very simple, right? There will be maybe many other activities in many different monasteries. In Pao, we have only 3 ceremonies, very big ceremony. The first one is Wasa. Second one is Katina. The third one is Mahadana. Only 3 big ceremony. For the rest of the year, we don't have any big ceremony. So that means if we have very big ceremonies, very big activities, we are very busy. You can practically experience, okay, man, now the team for this retreat, they are busy, right? I don't know what time they sleep, right? And it was very late maybe, right? Because they have to set everything. They have to restore everything, right? So we don't know when they sleep at night. This is very small activities, very small group, right? A big ceremony, big group, it will be busy. But fortunately, this one is not for games, right? Just for practice. Anyway, the main thing is if we have to be busy with many activities for gain or for earning, then this becomes major impediment. Another thing is a gana. Gana means class, a class. Okay, in the case of class, we should say different grouping, different organizations. We can say like that, right? For example, at the time of the Buddha, we have some grouping, they are just learning Vinaya group. Some grouping, they were learning only Tigha Nikaya. Another group learning Majjhima Nikaya, another group learning Samdha Nikaya, something like that. Different grouping. Now in modern society, we can say different organization, different committee member. And we made different committee, right? Different organization, different society. So, for example, I am a member of Paotoya organization. I'm also a member of maybe another organization, many organization. Then all the organization also need to work, right? So I have to work for this, work for that, busy. This is also called kana, according to modern society, right? It became an obstacle. It became a major impediment. Another thing is karma, new projects, such as building. For example, if I have to manage a construction, then I have to supervise the constructor or everything. I will be busy. I cannot meditate. This is just an example, right? In the case of karma, here it doesn't mean kusala or akusala karma, right? That means new activities. Or we can say new projects. So if we have very big projects, you'll be very busy.
Có nhiều dự án thì quá bận rộn luôn.
Even in the monastery, for example, okay, now previous Myanmar New Year, right? When we have to manage many people there, and we also have to arrange everything. But this year, actually, we started new plan. That means we divide into 2 different groups. For all the new meditators or all the beginners, the temporary ordained bhikkhus or temporary nuns, we just teach Abhidhamma in brief, right? I mean, later when they listen to the Dhamma talk, then they can understand a little deeper for this purpose. Therefore, temporarily ordained samneras and bhikkhus, we also teach Vinaya. Later, when they disrobe, when they become lay person, they may know what's the Vinaya. They may know what's really called bhikkhu, right? Then, for this program, we have to be busy. After coming back from Vietnam, I arrived at Myanmar and then April 2nd. from Vietnam. Then April 3rd, I have spent 1 day in Yangon. April 4th, I was in Molyneux. As soon as I arrived at there, I had to start planning many different things. Right? That means I have to discover many different people, collect many different informations, then publish the books immediately. So that means very busy because of new projects, right? Then we cannot meditate. So sometimes we have many different projects, many different things to do that we cannot meditate. This is called karma. Down, travel. Okay, one more thing. Before traveling, we have to prepare many things. I don't know how you prepare, right? Actually, before I came to Singapore, I'm prepared very easy, right? Every single day, I just think, right? So when I'm free, how should I bring? If I remember one thing, okay, put into my bag. Next day, also when I'm free, I'm thinking, what should I bring? If I remember, just put into my bag, right? So in this way, when I'm going to leave, not busy. So mostly, when we are going to leave, we have to collect many different things and become very busy, right? After coming back, also we have to store up this, throw out that, very busy. So atta, traveling. In modern society, a little bit easier, right? Because we have a good transportation. But ancient time, at the time of the Buddha, more difficult because they have to carry all of them by themselves, right? Very tiring. You may remember, I think you may have listened to Katina Dhamma talk. Every year, mostly we have to say the same story. This is this history of Katina, right? The bhikkhus, a group of bhikkhus, come to see the Buddha, right? Came to see the Buddha. On the way, because of raining, their clothes are very wet, and also their clothes also smeared with the swine and clay and many different things. Then they cannot arrive before the Vasa. Then they have to stop in one place and they have to spend Vasa there. But the main thing is, if we have to walk very long time, and you may have that kind of experiences, right? If we have to walk very long time, even the rope on the shoulder become very heavy. Because mostly we just walk very short. We just put all our baggage into the car, just continue our journey like this, right? Able to carry by our hands, very heavy. So after a few minutes, you want to throw away everything, right? Anyway, the main thing is traveling. So at the time of the Buddha, traveling is very difficult. Then also they have to carry everything, very tiring. That's why atta is also one of the impediments. Even in modern society, actually, if we have to travel, we have to plan many things in our mind. Before going, right? We have to plan many different things. What I have to do there, what I should do there, right? We have to all the plan in our mind. I don't know how you plan, right? This is what I think before I travel. So anyway, the main thing is if we are traveling, we are not very interested in meditation that much, it becomes an obstacle. After coming back from journey also, we become very tired. We are not ready to meditate. This is also another issue. Okay? Sometimes, although we are in the car, compared to walking, right? As in the car is a little bit more comfortable, not that much tiring. But in Singapore, it's okay because within 1 hour, you can go anywhere around Singapore, right? But like in Vietnam or in Thailand, sometimes maybe more than 3 hours in the car, 6 hours in the car, 8 hours in the car. When I go from Molyneux to my monastery in Ceylon, more than 12 hours in the car, right? So that means very tiring. Because a long journey, we cannot meditate well. This is an atana, traveling also impediment. If we don't travel too much, it's better, right? Then again, nyati, kin, relatives, preceptor, disciple, here mentioned, right? So that means our relative also can be impediment. So we have to be busy for our relatives. we have to take care of our relatives. This is also busy. Another thing is like a preceptor. For ordinary person, preceptor and disciples, we all have duties. So if we are fulfilling our duties, we have to be busy. We cannot meditate well. It becomes impediment. Actually, in Buddha teaching, especially in Vinaya, preceptor is like a father. Then another thing like a disciple are like a son or daughter. That's why we have to take care of each other. For example, when my Upachaya got sick, I have a responsibility to take care of him. Then I cannot meditate well. Similarly, when I got sick, my student have to be busy for me. They cannot meditate well. Right? This is a relationship between teacher and student. Not only that, sometimes teachers have to be busy for students. So in any kind of things, we can say this is a jnati. Relationship. Because of relationship, we have all this kind of impediment. The another thing is the abhada sickness. So when we have very serious sickness, we cannot meditate well. That's very obvious, right? So sometimes even we're going to sit down, our body become very weak. Sometimes we're going to know the breathing also when body become very weak. So the sickness is one of the impediments. So it can be different types of sickness. For example, some of the sickness are very easy to recover. Some sickness are not that easy to recover, right? So if we have very serious sickness, it's not that easy to recover from it, then it becomes very big impediment. Ganta, learning. So learning is also one of the impediments. There's sometimes people also ask, can I meditate? Can I also learn at the same time? They also ask this kind of question. Mostly we don't recommend to study too much. If somebody wants to read, okay, don't read more than 45 minutes. If you can read only half an hour, it's good enough. After reading, you think a lot. You cannot meditate well. Especially in the meditation retreats. If you read many books, it will get worse. Right? I think, the year 2013, I was in Malaysia. We have many books in Nandaka Vihara. I think some of you have been to Malaysia. You may have known Nandaka Vihara. Many books in their library, also in the bookshop. We can also get it. We can also read it. They also offer the books. So I also read some of the books. There are many also meditators. They read many things about anapanasati, taught by many different teachers. Then they get confused. When I say, you must know natural breathing, then they say, actually, there are many different explanations about breathing. Somebody say natural breathing, concept breathing. Concept breathing means you must know only the artificial breaths, not real breaths. Right? Many explanations from many different teachers. Then it becomes very messy. It must be natural breaths. It must be real breaths. Right? Then learning many different things from many different teachers, we get confused. That's why learning is also one of the impediments. So here one more thing. There will be some important parts that can support our practice. For example, some story, some aspirational story, motivational story for meditator. We can read it. In Dhammapada, we have many stories. Then we can also read. Then from time to time, when we are lazy or when we have some defilements, we can recall all the story. When I was learning in Pali school, then in Silakanawaka commentary, it mentioned many things about clear comprehension, very much in detail. Whenever I have a defilement or something discomfort in my mind, just go and reach that part. That's motivation, aspirational. He also mentioned many stories, many ways of practice, easier to overcome defilements. So sometimes we need to overcome defilements. That's why we learn. For sometimes it's okay, not really big problem. If we just learn whole day, whole night, then we cannot meditate. When we are going to meditate, all the subject we have learned will come to our mind. Right? So that means we're going to do two things together. If we are learning, we're going to meditate well. If we are meditating, we're going to learn well. These two are two different things. When learning, we have to think a lot. When meditating, we have to stop thinking. Two different things, right? Okay, finally, we have 80. Supernormal power. So why the Buddha mentions supernormal power? Why it's become impediment? It's a good thing, right? You can fly on the sky. You can dive into the water. You can also hear even very subtle sound from very far. You can also see even divine beings. There's a good quality. Why it become impediment? Actually, these kind of things are very sensitive. As soon as we have some defilements, we can get lost. That is why if we try to maintain supernormal power, we try to maintain, if we are busy with only supernormal power, we don't have any other thing to do. We cannot meditate, we cannot improve other subjects. That's why it becomes impediment. So these impediments make our improvement slower. That's why we call dukkha paribara, right? This impediment also make us produce us more difficulty to improve. So that means whenever we encounter some difficulty, remember what kind of impediments do we have. If we have one of these impediments, we encounter many difficulties. Right? This is a major impediment. There are many other minor impediments. For bhikkhu, right? Then if our hairs become very long, we have to shave hair. Remember, I have to shave my hair. Right? We cannot meditate well. I have to wash my clothes and remember that I cannot meditate well. There are many minor impediments also. Okay, so that means this when we have major impediments, it will be more difficult. When we have minor impediments, we can settle very easily. Okay, so these are the conditions for our improvement. These are also impediments or obstacles for our improvement. So we must learn it, we must know it, right? So as a neya, there will be dukkha paribara, danda vinya. Dukkha paribara means difficulty when practicing until we can take asset concentration or anuloma jnana. Also, danda vinya, very sluggish attainment. That means very slow attainment. Although we have attained asset concentration, not easy to attain jhana. Although we have achieved up to anuloma jnana, we cannot attain path and first knowledge. In this kind of case, we can say dukkha paribara, danda vinya. That's neya bukkala, right? So sometimes we have overconfidence. That means from time to time, I have met some of my students. They say, he is a sukha paribara, kripa pinya. He declared himself like that, right? Then I say, it's impossible. Don't say that kind of thing to me, right? If we say sukha paribara, kripa pinya, he must attain path and fruition after listening short discourse, right? Now he has a lot of difficulty to attain jhana, to see the nimitta. It's impossible in modern society. Okay? So we have many other things to explain. Right? Tomorrow we have to continue apana kwasana, 10 kind of ski and absorption. Okay? But today we don't have enough time. Okay? So the main thing is, when we talk about Vipassana Bupen Kama, last night also I have already introduced. Sometimes we wish to practice Vipassana, pure Vipassana vehicle. we have to start with 4 elements, then until we attain arhatship. Although arhat who attain their arhatship with pure Vipassana vehicle, pure Vipassana practice, they want to enter into cessation attainments. They will practice samatha. They will until they attain 8 attainments. So this kind of thing also can happen. That is why for about samatha bhupankama is very common in modern society. Everybody can do. Vipassana bhupankama not that easy, right? But it's still possible if we are trying very hard. Because we have many difficulty now, and list out all the difficulty, right? But also tomorrow I have to talk about skill again. So anyway, okay, if we say conclusion, in Yuganaddhasutta we have already mentioned 4 different parts. So the last part is for about impurity of insight. The first 3, we have different ways of Vipassana. Samatha first, then go to Vipassana. Vipassana first, after that practice Samatha. The next one will be Samatha Vipassana together. Okay, so before going Samatha Vipassana together, we also have to know Samatha Vipassana, what kind of people and what we need to know. So if we are knowledgeable, we know how to avoid. Also, we know how to balance. We also know how to improve, right? So learning knowledge is also important. Not only that, after learning, practicing knowledge is also important. If we experience by ourselves, we may have more confidence with our practice. Okay, so now you can choose many different meditation subjects. All the subjects can lead you to Vipassana. Only 2 different things. Some of them can attain jhana, some of them cannot attain jhana. But any of them will be beneficial for everybody. The Buddha also has already mentioned all the meditation subjects are suitable for every kind of temperament. So that means there will be special temperament and special subjects. Buddha also mentioned. But for our anapanasati, it will be suitable for everybody. It's very easy, right? So the main thing is we must believe our ability. We must be diligent. Also, we must have consistent awareness. If we can have all these conditions, we can improve. Okay? So may you all be able to practice the Buddha teaching, and may you all be able to realize the final cessation and no suffering.
Thank you, Sayadaw. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Sayadaw, shall we proceed to the Q&A session?
Okay.
Okay. We shall start with the sending questions. Brother Duke, can you please help to share the Q&A template? 尊者晚上好，首先感恩尊者的领新加坡，感恩尊者。感恩尊者莅临新加坡，给予我们教导，同时也感恩主办单位、义工及各同修们，大家都非常慈悲及友善，慈悲笑容让我难忘，也让我毫无压力、放松、自在的环境下轻松修行，没有感觉到自己英文不好而止步。我和我的朋友是第一次参加，只参加2天的共修，现已离开。以下是我和朋友的静坐报告。1. 我朋友他处在一个非常平静，听不到声音，呼吸停止，犹如进入第2度空间，没有想下来的感觉，即使是想下来也好像不容易。2. 我本身感觉呼吸非常细， 处在平静的状态。请问尊者，这样是对的吗？接下来我们该怎么办？如何继续修己咨询谁？萨嘟萨嘟萨嘟。
曼达米西亚，曼达米西亚。Hello. Vietnamese Seattle. First, he would like to express his gratitude towards Seattle because of all the helps from the Dharma workers and organizers and the other helpers. He managed to meditate in these retreats, although his English is not good. There is no barrier for her to practice. So he and his friends has attended the retreat for 2 days, but he has this meditation reports to Seattle first. Her friends has entered into a state of quietness. There is no sound being heard. The breath has stopped, as if she has entered into the second dimensions and doesn't want to stop from get away or get out from this experience. And also it is not easy to get out from this experience. For he himself, he felt that the breath is very subtle and very peaceful. So they would like to ask, what should they do next?
Actually, very strong quietness. You also mentioned, right? Another thing is you have breathing stop. That means you don't have any breathing. So in this kind of case, actually, you must be very careful before that kind of thing happen. Sometimes, okay, your breath become very quiet, your mind become very quiet. Then you also follow the quietness. Your effort become weaker and weaker. Finally, your mind become blurred. You cannot know anything, right? So that means this is not really good thing to experience. Before that kind of thing happen, whenever you have a calmness of the mind or you too much free and too much comfort, you must remind yourself to keep knowing breathing. Otherwise, it becomes habit. Okay? Another one?
On the Miss Seattle, please Seattle advice 1. See air in right nostril look like a small white cloud or gray left side. Why arise? Different color and place. Please Seattle advise this from characteristic, function, manifestation, and proximate cause. Question 2. To be an arhat in this life, first jhana must powerful in this very life. If jhana 2 to 6 powerful, will be an arhat in next life. And if jhana 7 powerful, will be an arhat in one next life. I listening from one Dharma talk. Please Seattle advise what is mean in the first jhana mean, second to 6 jhana mean, 7 jhana mean, and with example. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
There's some misunderstanding, right? Okay, the first one, right? We cannot say the characteristics, function, manifestation, or proximate cause of all the you ask, because it's come from perception. So in the case of the nimitta, whatever your perception change, it will change. We call in Bali nana sanya, nanata sanya, different perception. That's why whenever you see the nimitta or you see something, I just recommend, don't think about the color, the shape, the location. It will change a lot, right? So in this case, we're going to say characteristics, function, or manifestation, or proximate cause. Okay, second question. I don't know where you have got this information. So when we say the first jhana must be powerful in this very life, actually, I think you misunderstand something about Ditta Dhamma Viriniya Kama, Upapaja Viriniya Kama, Aparapriya Viriniya Kama, and Ahosi Kama. When we explain that one, and then you misunderstand something. Okay? Yeah? Another one?
As after one sees nimitta, continue to focus on breath till breath is almost gone. Nimitta is more stable like a shining object in front of you. Then what should one do? How do I know if the bright light experience is not because of the light from outside? Also, any guidance on how to progress after fourth jhana? Grateful for your teaching. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, for about the nimitta, when nimitta become very stable, then there will be very subtle breaths. Then finally, your breath will disappear. Your mind will naturally go to the nimitta, very shiny nimitta. At the time, you can keep knowing the nimitta. Don't think about the breath anymore. As long as you can feel breathing very subtle, keep knowing breathing. Don't think about the light or nimitta too much. This is the first thing, right? Second thing is the light from outside or from our meditation. It will be a little bit different. For example, now we have the light in the hall. It will be very stable. But when you see the light is unstable, as soon as your mind inclined to it, it will fade away, right? That means if we experience the light from meditation, it's unstable. If we have outside light, it becomes very stable. Okay, these are two different things. Another thing is after fourth jhana, right? The whole mention, right? Any guidance on how to progress after fourth jhana? Actually, it depends on your choice. There are many different guidance. For example, Anapana fourth jhana. After attaining Anapana fourth jhana, you can also continue practicing Vipassana. This is one way. Then you can also continue practicing 32 body parts. This is another way. Then you can also change to Kasina, another way. So there are many different ways we can choose. It depends on yourself, right? So that is why after fourth jhana, there are many things to do. There are many other subjects we can do. Okay? No.
顶礼尊者，请问尊者一，在缅甸有两种主流禅法，即帕奥止观禅法和马哈西纯观禅法。请问尊者，这两种禅法最根本的差异是什么？二，腹部起伏是究竟法吗？三，既然纯观不需要安止定，而现在的人培育定力又那么不容易，为什么帕奥的禅师们大多数都是教导对定力要求更高的止观，而不教导对定力要求相对低一点的纯观？萨度萨度萨度。
In Myanmar, there are two main streams of meditations practice method. One is the Pao method, Pao Samatha-Vipassanā method. The other is the Vipassana insight meditation methods. So what are the main difference between these two meditation methods? Second question, to the arising and falling of the abdomen, is that Paramatha Dhamma? Third questions, as Sukha Vipassana doesn't need jhana or appana samadhi, so in the modern world, it is very difficult for people to cultivate concentration. So why the teachers in Pao still emphasize on cultivating high level of concentration, means to practice the samatha way? Why don't they teach the Sukha Vipassana methods, which require less requirement for the concentration?
Okay. So one more thing, right? Paramatha Dhamma. That means falling as an abdomen, you say, right? Abdomen. Abdomen is conceptually. Right? It's a concept. If we say concept, it's not Paramatha Dhamma. Okay. For example, I should explain a little bit more about concepts. Okay. This is a paper. Now we can say tissue. Tissue paper, right? After wiping, it becomes rubbish. Different name. The same name after using is different name, right? So if we burn, right, it can be ash. If we throw it on the ground, it can be soil. So that means if we say abdomen, actually in the abdomen there are many other things. Body hair is the abdomen. The body hair also, right? Many other things. If we analyze, it becomes very messy. In the case of ultimate reality, this is the last thing. We're going to analyze more than that. This is called ultimate reality. Okay? So the main thing is, if we say ultimate reality, it must be truth for everybody, anytime, in any condition. This is called ultimate reality. So, okay, another thing. We have many different traditions in Myanmar. Actually, not only Mahasi or Pao, many other traditions we have. Then another thing, in the question also mentioned, why Pao Doya choose Samatha, very difficult parts. Why they don't choose easier parts? Okay, one more thing. Can we get BA degree very easily in Singapore? I don't ask other countries, in Singapore University. Right? So similarly, can we get very easily PhD degree in Singapore? You have to try very hard to get very big requirements to get that kind of certificate. Right? This is one example. So when we are trying to attain Nibbana, the highest requirement, then if we think, we can achieve easily, it's a fake. Even we cannot earn very easily without good education in Singapore, right? So if you have good education, you can earn easily in Singapore. You can earn well. If you don't have good education, you cannot earn well. Very clear. This is for earning, for living, not for Nibbana. So to attain Nibbana is easier than you are earning, you should consider. Right? This is the one thing. So that means when we talk about Vipassana, then actually, instead of approaching teacher, you should approach the text. It will be easier for you to understand real Vipassana. For example, in the text it mentioned, we must know five aggregates. Then, okay, we should say easier one. In Yuganaddhasutta, Buddha mentioned five aggregate methods. They also mentioned 165 ways of practice, designing five aggregates. Right? Too much, right? It's too much. I don't wish to do. Okay. Can you have any discounts to get BA degree or PhD degree in Singapore? I don't wish to learn many different things. Okay, can I get easier one? It's impossible, right? Similarly, in the practice, it's not easy. If easy is a fake, right? So another thing, if you are going to get real gold, it must be expensive. If you get just artificial gold, it will be very cheap. Similarly, jade, right? In Myanmar, we have a lot of jade, right? Jade or ruby. If you wish to get real ruby, high quality ruby, it must be expensive. If you wish to get very cheap ruby, it will be fake, right? That is why it does not come from Pao Doya or Mahasi or anything. It comes from Pali Canon. It comes from commentary. It come from sub-commentary. Okay? So difficult or easy, it depends on how we practice, how skillful we are. If we are skillful, everything will be easy. If we are unskillful, everything will be difficult. For example, speaking English. Practically, if you don't speak English, it will be difficult. If you're trying to speak English very hard, it will be easy, right? All the skill come from practice. Without practicing, we're gonna expect any skill, right? So, okay, briefly, if I summarize the answer, actually, we also have pure Vipassana vehicle methods, but not as you think. It's not that easy as you think. We also have Samatha Vipassanā practice, but it's not as you think, right? You say difficult. It depends on skill, not for everybody. Okay, so that means this kind of question is a little risky for me also, right? Anyway, I must answer if there's a question. Okay, another thing.
Wandamisiado, Suki Hotu. My question is, when we get the light which is not have any improvement, should I let to open the room to get some outside light? What is Sayadaw's suggestion? Normally, I like to practice in dark room. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, so that means in this case, right, improvement does not come from the light. Improvement just comes from the practice. Although you open the window, is not effective, right? Right. So you must practice normally. So that means, although you have the light, you must keep knowing the breathing until you can see the nimitta become very stable. Right? Okay. Practicing in the dark room is a good idea. When you see the light, it will be brighter. Okay. Another thing. Another question.
I think my faith is weaker than other yogis. I'm the beginner of Anapanasati, thus I can't make the 5 jhana factors balance and Buddhanussati at present. So please let me know how to increase faith in our daily life. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
I think she means 5 controlling faculties, not jhana factors, right? She cannot balance 5 controlling faculties, this one. Okay. So faith in daily life means, actually, you must believe in your ability. Okay, now, okay, not only you, many people, we have the same problem. The same problem means, in this body light, I cannot see the light, if they have never seen before, they have that kind of idea. That means before starting, they give up already. Right? So in your case, you have already started. Then don't give up. Another thing, all other people around you are also human beings. Okay, all the meditators who can see the light are also human beings. You are also a human being. We are the same. We just need only a few things. That's a practice, effort, skill, confidence, right? If we have all the things, we can improve, right? So another thing is that you also mentioned Buddhanussati at present. That means, although you do Buddhanussati, if you don't understand the meaning of Buddha's quality deeply, you may not have very strong faith also. So first you should learn Buddha's quality. For example, when you're going to do Arahant, right? Then you have to learn the meaning of Arahant. When you're going to practice Samatha-Vipassanā, you must learn the meaning of Samatha-Vipassanā very clearly. After that, if you can understand deeply, you may have a stronger faith in the Buddha. It will be easier for you. Okay? The next one.
Wandamisiado, how can we continue to learn from you after this retreat? Also, thank you to organizing team for this wonderful and well-organized retreat and Dhamma talk. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Good question, right? Right? So that means if you can improve, you can come to Myanmar. But now I don't recommend to come, right? In the current situation, I don't recommend anybody to come to Myanmar. So that means if you have good improvements, okay, you can come to Myanmar. I can give you a sponsorship letter. Right? Next one.
Wandamisiado, the Rupa realms are divided into many levels. How does one practice to reborn to these levels of realm? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, for example, we have the first jhana, 3 levels, right? So we can say 3 different power of first jhana. We have 5 controlling faculties. Also, we can also say like a predominant activity, right? So if our predominant factors or controlling faculties are a little bit lower, we can be very lower run in the first jhana, lower runs. If our controlling faculties and predominant factors are in the medium, we can be reborn in the middle, the first Brahma rounds. Then similarly, if we attain first jhana with very high predominant factors and controlling faculties, we can be reborn the highest round. So even the first jhana, we have 3 rounds. Similarly, second jhana, third jhana, we have 3 different levels. So it depends on according to our balancing controlling faculties and predominant factors. Okay.
嗯，顶礼尊者，您开示说，学习也可以给禅修者带来障碍，弟子也受到这个问题的困扰。有的老师说呼吸最大，有的老师说把心放在口鼻区域即可，呼吸清晰不清晰都不要紧。有的老师说呼吸越清晰越好，您说专注自然的呼吸。您能否进一步解释，心在专注自然的呼吸的时候，呼吸是自然的呼吸，那么心是怎么样心？这个问题是想弄清楚，在专注自然的呼吸的时候，心到底要怎么做，怎样做才是正确的？感恩班迪萨都萨都萨都。
Mandami Sayadaw, in Sayadaw's talks, Sayadaw mentioned that Kanta, learning, is also one of the impediments. So he also had this problems. And in the Anapanasati guidance, Sayadaw's, some teachers will say the breath is the most important one to focus. But some other teacher will say, just put the mind at the nostril area. That is enough. The breath, whether it is clear or not clear, it is not important. The third teacher will say, the breath should be, the clearer the breath it is, the better it is. But Pandey says, just focus onto the natural breath. So he would like to ask for further explanations. When the mind focuses on the natural breath, the breath has appeared naturally. But how would the mind be? He would like to make clear, when he focuses onto the natural breath, his mind should be in what situation?
I'm not quite clear, right? How did you mean what situation? Mind is a mind, right?
In what condition is correct? What state of mind, what state of focusing mind is correct?
Okay. What kind of focusing mind, right? This is also a little bit messy for me. Right? I understand mind is a mind, right? Right? What does a focus of mind? This is a little bit difficult for me also, right? Anyway, when you study sutta, or some Anapanasati sutta, even in the instruction I have already mentioned, Sadowa Asasati, Sadowa Asasati. That means Sadowa, wa means ewa, just, only, or merely. That means we have a natural breathing, but now additional one is mindfulness. That means we must be aware of the breath. Okay? What kind of consciousness, what kind of mind? That means we must aware of the breath. This is the main point. So we have natural breathing every day. When we are meditating, we must be aware of it. That's all. Okay? Additional one is awareness. Natural one is breathing. Right? So Buddha also mentioned, Asechanako, don't add anything into breathing. Don't mess up with any other thing. It should be pure breathing, natural breathing. Okay? That's why I just say, focus on the natural breaths. So it doesn't mean you must put your mind around the nostril or something. You must be aware of the breathing. Okay? So mind can be everywhere. You can put, it's not really the problem. Actually, when you have awareness, is good enough, right? You must be aware of breath all the time. Okay? So don't analyze mind too much also. In your case, I think you analyze unnecessary things. What kind of minds? This is a little bit strange to me also. Right? Okay, then?
我的意思说，学习教理所得知识是闻所成慧吗？尼亚有修所成慧。萨度萨度萨度。
Learning the pariyatti, the knowledge from learning pariyatti, would they consider Suttamaya Panya? And for Neya persons, do they have Pavanamaya Panya?
Actually, for Neya, we have already mentioned, right? They don't have Suddhamaya and Jindamaya both. That's why they have difficulty. We have already mentioned, right? So again, for Bhavanamaya, of course, if they study for the teacher, they can have both Suddhamaya, Jindamaya, Bhavanamaya. So for about Neya, they have very little knowledge. They must depend on other people. Okay? Yeah, next one.
问顶礼尊者，弟子每天早上修一座慈心禅1个半小时，晚上佛随念1个半小时。请问尊者，修法时好像都在脑子里冥想，但心里感觉没有，也没有光，应该怎样修是正确的？萨度萨度萨度。
Sayadaw, every morning she spend 1.5 hour practice Metta Bhavana. At night, she spend 1.5 hour practice Buddhanusati. So he would like to ask, he finds that the mind, the brain is keep on meditating on these subjects, but the heart, the mind doesn't have any feeling, and also there is no light. So how to practice is the correct way of practice?
So Metta and Buddhanosati, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Metta and Buddhanosati. Actually, if you practice systematically, it will be a little bit better. Right? In the case of Buddhanosati, you must understand Buddha's quality. You must also see the Buddha, or Buddha's statues, or Buddha's image. After visualizing it, just trying to recall Buddha's quality again and again, it will be more convenient. For improvements, since it's a little bit different from my way of thinking, I cannot guess why you have that kind of difficulty, right? Now that actually, I got to look at one thing. That means you need systematic training. Like Buddhanosati is like a very similar, it's also ultimate reality. Not that easy to understand. What about the metta? We also have systematic way. For example, you must radiate metta toward yourself. After that, respected person, dear person, indifferent person, enemy, and so forth. We have systematic practice, right? So if you train systematically, I think you can improve. Otherwise, you will be the same stage for a very long time. Okay?
我的意思说 It is mentioned in the talk that for one who is Dhanabhinya, after reaching Anuloma Jnana, it is very difficult or may take a long time for him to reach Magga Jnana. May I ask what is the definition for Anuloma Jnana in this context, please? If Anuloma Jnana refers to the Anuloma mind movement in the Magga Vitti, then it will surely be followed by Magga Jnana in the same Vitti, and therefore it is not possible to have long delay of time between them.
Sure.
Is this understanding correct, please?
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so now,
sadhu.
Okay, the last part is the best you mentioned. Okay. So in the actually, Nirvana Jnana is we just say metaphor, right? Actually, we can say only Sankarupaka Jnana, but it's very close to Anuloma Jnana. That's why we just call metaphorically. Okay. So that's why after practicing, okay, that means although they have very strong and very powerful inside knowledges, but they cannot attain path and fruition knowledge. This is called Danda Binya. Okay? Yeah, next one.
So, after the mind is focused on the in-breath and out-breath for a longer while, does the mind stay lucid and clearly on the breath, or should it begin to feel high while still focusing on the in and out breath? Many thanks for your guidance. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. That means as long as you can know breathe in and breathe out naturally, clearly, this is good enough, right? We're gonna say begin to feel high or something, right? I mean, just keep knowing breathing and breathing out, right? Another thing, sometimes some question they analyze many unnecessary things. Be careful, right? Right? The way you analyze a little bit strange to me also. Okay, now another one.
May I ask, how may I improve myself in meditation if I have frequent blocked nose and skin problem for 4 years? My mind always drift away as my skin itch, and I can't breathe properly due to blocked nose when I meditate. Thank you, Sayadaw.
Okay, sure. In your case, actually, we don't. If you have some blockage of nose, we don't recommend to practice anapanasati. It should be another subject. Another one is a skin problem, right? So that means if you're too itchy, then it will be also difficult for you. There should be another subject. For example, like when you do Puranosati, it can be external one, not from your body. That means if you have very strong rupture, very strong tranquility, you can forget about your skin. You can forget about your itchy feeling. This is also possible, right? There are many other subjects. It must be external. Right? Many other subjects, for example, Dhammanosati, Sanghanosati, Silanosati, Jaganosati, many other subjects. They are external one, right? You can try one of these subjects. It will be easier for you to overcome this problem. I don't recommend Anapanasati, okay?
弟子顶礼半杯。一、禅修时候，弟子告诉心要多知道点呼吸，好像没什么用，弟子该如何？二、弟子肩膀痛，意念佛陀在肩膀处，持续对佛像持续默念佛随念，一会儿肩膀就不再痛了。这个不痛维持了2到3天，这是什么原因呢？萨度萨度萨度。
Sayadaw, during meditation, he keep on telling to himself, he must know the breath more. But this method doesn't seem to be effective. So what should he do next? Second question,
What
he
the
has
first one?
shoulder.
What is the first one?
First one, during meditation, he keep on telling himself
Okay.
to know the breath more. But this method doesn't seem to be effective. So what should he do?
Okay. Second. The second one is?
The second question is, he has shoulder pain. So he tried to visualize the Buddha statues at his shoulder and recollects Buddha's quality there. After a while, the shoulder become not painful anymore. And this has maintained for 2 or 3 days. What is the reason?
Okay. So, okay, now the first one, right? Actually, although you remind yourself too much to keep doing breathing, is not that much effective, right? Another thing is interest. You must be interested in the breathing. If you are interested in the breathing, then it will be easier for you to maintain. Sometimes, although you force yourself to know breathing, not that much interested, is not that much effective also, right? It's also important, one of the things. Then second one, about the despairing, but overcoming pain, right? Especially when you have a rupture and tranquility, you can overcome the pain. This is normal, right? Maybe sometimes because of a long time also maybe exercising or something, you can also overcome the pain. So in this case, I cannot say why it's happened.
弟子顶礼班地，禅坐时候知道呼吸同时还有别的念头同时产生一个画面，这是什么情况？弟子该如何做？萨度萨度萨度。
Vandami Sayadaw, Vandami Bande, during meditation, while knowing the breath at the same time, still have other thoughts arise. For example, some images. So, what is this happening, and what should he do?
Actually, seeing the images is not really a big problem. As long as you don't follow it, it's fine. For having thought is the problem, right? So you also know the breathing. You also have another thoughts. It's not really very good habits. So to solve this problem, that means you must be more diligent. Huh? Another thing is more reminding to keep knowing breathing. It will be easier. Another one.
Sayadaw, I had practiced to jhana before. Now I lost my jhana. But when I practice anapana again, I cannot feel my breath, only light, but not nimitta at nostril. How should I continue? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Actually, it will be very messy, right? Now, one more thing. Okay, I just remember one of my classmates, or no, my senior, right? But he was empowered. He has seen the nimitta. Then he got sick. After that, he left Pautoya. Next time he came back, he also started practicing anapanasati. When he was going to see the nimitta, mind is very exciting, expecting too much. Then he also know his weakness. He also told me, I'm his junior. He also told me, I have difficulty because I know the taste of anapana, the taste of nimitta. That's why when nimitta is going to appear, I'm very exciting, expecting too much. Then I cannot handle, I cannot control my emotion. Everything disappears. It happened like this, right? In your case, you must be very careful. You're going to feel the breath. It's not really a big problem. But another thing is that only the light, not nimitta, is the problem. Right? So although you don't feel the breath, you can feel something moving around your nostril, some sensation. If you have seen the nimitta, actually, this is very common. Then just keep knowing there as a breath. Your nimitta can appear. Right? So that means in your case, don't expect too much. Don't recall your past experiences too much. You have to restart as a new meditator. Then you can regain all the things. Okay?
Sayadaw, when one attains Sotapanna stage, once eradicate Sakaya Ditti, how do we understand this? How does one check if he removed Sakaya Ditti? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Actually, with his revealed knowledge, he can check. Okay? Even a few days ago, in the question and answer, I have already explained the one. With revealed knowledge, we can also know path knowledge, fruition knowledge, nibbana, other the defilements, the abundant defilements, and remaining defilements. Right? The Sakaditi has already abundant by Sotapanna, so they can review it with revealed knowledge. Okay? Next one.
Sayadaw, after meditating, I have become sensitive. A few times my sleep was disturbed by unseen. After I say metta or share merits, I could sleep. Can you advise me so that I can practice with ease? Thank you, and sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
So, okay, I don't know whether it's unseen or mind-made, right? Okay, the main thing is, if you have some difficulty like this, you must ready metta more. That means not from the mouth, right? Metta must come from the heart. Be careful. Mostly we have metta from the mouth, not from the heart, right? If you have real metta from the heart, you can overcome this problem. Okay? Yeah. Next one.
Last question, Sayadaw. Sayadaw, just now Sayadaw mentioned some passages in the Sila Khanda Waga, which Sayadaw frequently referred to for inspirations and guidance when Sayadaw faced difficulty during Pali school days. Can Sayadaw kindly share what are these passages, please, so that we may also use them as inspirational guide? Thank you very much.
Okay. So this one is about the Samajanya in Samanyapala Sutta. In the Samanyapala Sutta, the commentary, it mentions many things about Samajanya, very much in detail. Actually, we can also find similar thing in many other commentary, because in Dhammatriya, we have to study Sila Khanda Vagga. That's why I'm a little bit familiar with this commentary. Actually, Samajanya, many of people have known different types of Samajanya, right? So that means if we know Samajanya and some Mahathera, they have very strong Samajanya, it becomes motivation. Then we have strong devotion. If we have strong devotion, then we can subside the defilements. We can also make our confidence stronger, right? That's why if you can go and read Samanyapala Sutta, one of the chapter is Samajanya, right? Samajanya, this chapter, it will be easier. Another thing is that you can also find similar thing in Samatha-Vipassanā Sutta, Samajanya Baba, right? But I'm not sure this in the Jigana in this commentary or not, I'm not sure. Because sometimes the commentator will avoid right in the second time in the same commentary. Okay, and anyway, we can also find similar chapter in many other commentaries. Okay.
I have just have got a question about emptiness. So according to the Bali Tipitaka, is there a saying that everything is emptiness?
Rising is it? Emptiness.
Everything is emptiness.
Okay. So here when we talk about emptiness, that means similar to anatta, sunya in Bali, right? Sunya. Actually, not only arising, it mentioned many things as a sunya. For example, we can say like a head here also sunya, body also sunya like this, right? That means body head here also the emptiness. That means anatta, not under our control, right? Similarly, body here also anatta, something like that. We can also find many things like this. Okay, the main thing is when we say emptiness, it will be similar to anatta. Okay, then it will be easier for you to understand. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Etta vata cha amehi sambatam punya sambatam sabbe deva numodantu sabbe buddha numodantu sabbe satta numodantu Sava Sampati Siriya Edame Nyatinam Hotu Sukhita Hondu Nyadayo Edame Nyatinam Hotu Sukhita Hondu Nyadayo Edame Nyatinam Hotu Sukhita Hondu Nyadayo Idhame Bunyam Asawakaya Waham Hodu Idhame Bunyam Nippanasa Pachayo Hodu Mama Bunya Bhagam Sabba Satanam Bhajemi Te Sabbe Me Samam Punya Bhagam Lavandu Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu